Zion Williamson. We all know that Zion Williamson is a freak of nature, a combination of size and speed we haven't seen. To be 285 pounds and have a 46-inch vertical, blah blah blah, we've all heard that at least 100 times about Zion at this point in relation to the dunks and finishing. But doing it in the NBA, when you can't always just power through the way you want to due to bigger competition, you have to adapt and do other things. Those other things are what's making Zion so good. But what is he doing exactly? What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. Of course, there are still moments where Zion's athleticism makes up for a lot. He caught this behind the backboard! I wanted to wait a few games before immediately calling Zion Williamson good in the NBA. Sure, there were already signs that he would be special from the first game, but to be doing it repeatedly almost every game for 9 games warrants a much deeper look at his game to see how he's doing this in the NBA. In 27 minutes a game, he's averaging 21 points and 7.7 rebounds on 57.6% from the field. So let's break all this down. Drop a like for how many dunks Zion will end his career with. 5,811. Yeah, I got TikTok. And to the 2.6 million people that watch my videos that still aren't subscribed, Zion's in the league. He's dunking, so please subscribe. Also turn on post notifications to all to see more breakdowns, because I like doing this So Good series. I know, all of you want to watch players like Dame, Zion, John Morant, or LeBron. I'm a Lakers fan and also a Knicks fan. It's complicated. And whenever I want to get sad and watch the Knicks, I can't because it's blocked in my area. Here's where ExpressVPN, the sponsor of today's video, can help you out. ExpressVPN is a VPN that helps protect your data, which is why I always use ExpressVPN for my private information to remain private. And I'm sure you want that too. It's super easy to use with a click of connect. It allows you to unblock block content not available in your area, such as basketball games with the Knicks. Imagine not being able to watch Zion in New Orleans. Bruh. To find out how you can get 3 months free, click the link in the description box down below at expressvpn.com/MJ2K all day. This really helps support the channel and helps you watch all the games. If we take Zion's per 36-minute stats, it looks like a video game for a rookie, averaging 28 points and 10.2 rebounds. Ayo, what? This is a guy that missed half the season and is figuring his way back into the offense while also getting his legs fully back in his first year. But that hasn't slowed him down at all. He scored 20 plus points in 7 out of his 9 games. The Pelicans have won 6 of their last 8. His teammate Lonzo Ball is one of those guys that knows his teammates' strengths and where to give them the ball so that they succeed. Yeah, the lobs are awesome and perfectly placed, like only where Zion can get them, but it's the other passes that lead Zion into his stride. Lonzo said this about Zion: obviously he is a freak athlete, but he's also very skillful. You can give it to him on the fast break, post ups, short rolls, so he can score in a lot of different ways, and that's why it's so hard to stop him. A great abbreviated breakdown, which we all know, but the inclusion of short rolls caught my eye. When's the last time you heard a player talk about short rolls? Yeah, exactly. Lonzo in September of 2019. Duh. At that time, he said that on a short roll, you don't have to wait for Zion to get all the way to the basket. Now, normally if you start a pick and roll from the perimeter and the passer dishes it off early to the roller, it's usually because 2 defenders came at the ball handler and for a little mid-range jumper. Other centers are kind of stuck in this no man's area where they hold on to the ball or immediately give it up. Really good players like Anthony Davis, who are strong enough to set the screen and mobile enough, can take that early pass and use the threat of a mid-range to dive into the paint. Zion, on the other hand, uses that to get momentum. Sometimes because he's so big, that's all he needs. Defenders bounce off of him and he can put the ball in the bucket. Other times, which is what I find more important, is that when he is stopped by the defense and he doesn't get what he wants, he's patient in finding an opening through angles or upper body movement to lay the ball up. This is not easy at all. I'm being serious. That requires a tremendous amount of body control. For example, on this play, it's the classic pick and roll between Lonzo and Zion. Lonzo attacks and dishes off to Zion almost at the 3-point line. He puts it in a place that Zion can catch it in stride. A defender meets Zion, but since Zion has momentum, he's able to bump away the defender enough and then contort to keep the ball away from the defender's hand. That defender is Hassan Whiteside. He's a 7-footer with a 7'7" wingspan, and his defense is actually pretty good right here. He stays vertical, hands up, but with these short rolls, Zion had all the space to operate and he beats a good defense, kinda making it look easy. That's why these short rolls work, because it gives Zion space and just enough time to react to a defensive shift. It's why Lonzo keeps talking about these short rolls, because I'm gonna be real, players don't really talk about short rolls. Zion is also surprisingly slippery. I know, he's a monster on the court. It's kinda hard to lose track of him, but Zion knows how to get open, especially with this spin-off move he likes to do. This spin-off move requires a quick burst of lateral quickness, not just raw speed, to get around this defender. We also see it on rebounds, like right here when he gets better positioning against Giannis, who's averaging 13.5 rebounds a game. We saw this in Duke, and he's doing it in the NBA against bigger players. For a guy that isn't setting up the offense or spot shooting, Zion's off-ball movement was going to be key, but his ability to shut defenders like he's a finesse linebacker is impressive, and explains why he can get so many points up on such little touches. Now, this is a stat that shows Zion dominance on the court. In his first 7 games, 81.3% of Zion's shots either go in the basket or are rebounded by Zion himself. That means that either the Pelicans get a bucket or get another chance on 81.3% of Zion's shots.
Bruh.
That doesn't speak to just Zion's efficiency, that also speaks to Zion's second jump. Carmelo in his prime was a really good example of being able to jump quickly after going up for a shot. Zion's actually averaging more offensive rebounds than Steven Adams and is 7th in the league.
Oh, come on, man.
Now, the sample size is really small, so it's not fair to say that he's 7th in the league, but you have to go all the way down here to find someone under 6'10". Yeah, 22nd on the list. Centers can't stop him from getting into position for rebounds, and even if Zion does miss, he's most likely getting the board. He's just quicker to his jump. But even without seeing him in action, Zion's reputation already has gravity on the court. I mentioned this in the video on why he's so special. Zion was getting doubled before even making a basket.
NANI?
Now, that was his first NBA game, and that hasn't necessarily changed. He gets doubled in the post, but what really caught my eye was the gravity Zion has off ball without being a proven knockdown shooter. I think ESPN analyst Sean Farnham broke this down extremely well.
He's being guarded by Giannis. Watch as he clears out and vacates the spot. You come off the on-ball screen, Lonzo Ball reads the defense perfectly. Giannis sees Brandon Ingram and goes, you know what? Nope, I can't leave Zion Williamson.
This is the first time Giannis has played Zion, and again, we're talking about Giannis, who has the best defensive rating in the league. So if Giannis wasn't willing to help off of Zion, who was in the baseline 3-point area to defend an Ingram drive, that speaks to the gravity that Zion has. Zion hasn't made a 3 since his first game, but Giannis doesn't want Zion catching a pass with space to drive. That's where that size and speed combination plays a factor, because it's a legitimate threat. If it was enough for the Greek Freak to worry about, it's something the league has to worry about. There's also a little playmaking Zion's been doing. He's still within the offense most games, and there's a patience to him, not just forcing it every time, and instead calmly assessing the situation. But I gotta say that when Zion does get going, he gets going in stretches and turns it on. Lonzo just keeps feeding it to Zion, and Zion just keeps going to work. One thing the Pelicans have done well is run post-ups for Zion. He's averaging 6.9 post-ups per game, which would put him at 9th in the league right now, and Zion does use his weight and lateral burst extremely well to get into good position down low. From there, he makes decent passes if doubled, powers through defenders, or like here, gets by you.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Especially with Lonzo looking for Zion, these post-ups also become lob opportunities. I think there's this it factor that both Zion and Ja Morant have. They aren't afraid of the moment. They want to seize it and show that they've arrived by showing that their best traits aren't just the best for rookies, that it's up there in the league. We saw this with Ja Morant going against Harden with the passes and even the three-point shooting. Zion went at Giannis head on, just wanting it. There's fearlessness that I gotta commend. It's an intangible that will never show up in a box score stat, but it matters. And that's a good way to describe it. Zion Williamson is different, but not just because of his gifts. There's so much that he does that can't be explained by numbers, not a weight, not how fast he can get or how high he can jump. It's how he's using his gifts, these small little details that make Zion so good. You can just feel that energy in the air when you watch him. But what do you think? Can Zion win Rookie of the Year? All-Star by next season? Drop a like for Zion's alley-oop cause this was crazy. Yeah, I got TikTok, follow it cause it's just some NBA content. And if you're still here, you a real one, so comment roll so I know. The Instagram shout of the day goes to Christian, nice handle man, and the all-day notification shout goes to Christian Blake. Thanks for the all-day support. Make sure to hit the bell for all notifications, and if you're not a sub, hit the subscribe button to join the all-day community for more fire content, all-day support. It's your boy MJ. We out.
Okay, just hop in my spaceship. Okay, just hop in my spaceship. No, no.